Hello everybody, welcome to Haus. I'm Rob, and today we're going to be talking about the potential release date for Generation 10 of Pokemon. That's right, you are looking at the TCG sets here, but I had a thought about how they kind of relate to the release of new games and just different things like that. So yeah, before we dive in, I'm going to ask you guys like and subscribe if you enjoy Pokemon content. We have a ton of it coming out here on a regular basis. Make sure that you do that so you don't miss out. And let me know in the comment section below if you think that this theory is completely whack, or do you think that maybe there's something to be said about this. And it kind of comes off of, I guess, yeah, we're getting into it now. So this kind of comes off of the idea that, yes, it seems very likely, right, that we are going to get Generation 10 next year. Something that has been discussed, 2026, we have the 30th anniversary, the release date for this game, right? That is fully expected at this point. And what's interesting is that we have gone through different, I don't know, like we've gone through a lot of different Pokemon sets, and this is going to be one of the longest release date, breaks that we have had in a really long time. With Scarlet and Violet being released, I think it'll be 4 years most likely after the last set had come out. But, there's been a lot of confusion, a lot of rumors, a lot of thoughts about why have we not heard anything about Gen 10? Are they really waiting to release all of it, here in 2026? Are we going to maybe get something in July of 2025 with the new Pokemon Presents that's expected? And this was just announced today that Pokemon TCG Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia are coming. They're going to be here in August in Japan and September in English markets to kind of get us ready for the release of Pokemon Legends ZA that we know is 100% confirmed for October of this year. But the big part that came from this is closing out the Scarlet and Violet era, making it feel like, to me, when was the last time that this happened? Could this have happened in the last couple of, of generations that we've had, right? And so I went all the way back to X and Y, and I decided to go through all of the different TCG expansions and just kind of get an idea of, when did these games, come out? When were these things, released, and how does it line up with the TCG set? Because Pokemon does everything to align with the release dates of their games, right? To market for everything. The new game helps them sell more cards, and the new cards help them sell more games, and just all of it is interconnected and crossed, and it's an amazing marketing feat that Pokemon has definitely done. And what is interesting is that, first off, for X and Y, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet, all of them have had anywhere between 15 and 17 sets of Pokemon cards. We are, with Black Bolt and White Flare, they're expected to be the last, ones in the Scarlet and Violet series. It comes out to 16, which means that we probably should have been getting Generation 10, based on if we're doing this on the patterns that we've seen with the Pokemon card releases in November of this year. But I wonder if the Terra leaks really did mess things up to that degree, or maybe if it gave them an opportunity even to move things back to the 30th anniversary, because from what we've heard and what, a lot of people have talked about or speculated on, at least, the Terra leaks coming out last year really moved things back. I think they were fully expecting to release Pokemon Legends ZA either late last year or earlier this year, and they decided to kind of move things back. But, if this is truly the last ones, and I'll go back here and kind of give you my justifications for this. X and Y ended, went straight into Sun and Moon. There's no set in between of these, right? Then you have Cosmic Eclipse for the last one for Sun and Moon, with Sword and Shield coming out in early 2020. The game was already out at that point, from what I can remember. Yeah, I'm almost certain that that's the case. My brain's, let's look this up real quick. Pokemon games release dates. Because now I'm questioning this for a second here. Okay, so let's go down to Pokemon Sun and Moon. Okay, so Pokemon Sun and Moon came out in 2016. So let's go back here. So literally the last set was Evolutions right when Pokemon Sun and Moon had just come out. This is a couple weeks before it. You head straight into Sun and Moon. Then we go into Sword and Shield, right, which should be right around here. Where are you at? There they are. So November 15th, 2019. When does Sword and Shield come out? February 2020. We're seeing the patterns here, right? Then you have Scarlet and Violet, which comes out, this one's March 31st, 2023. Scarlet and Violet, November 2022, right? And this was like, they had one more set here with Crown Zenith in the Sword and Shield era and went into Scarlet and Violet. So you could say that this was kind of the biggest time lapse, right? There's like a 5-month gap there. Well, if this is going to be the last set, and that's going to be July 18th, and with this mega block coming out, which is going to be all new, by the way, it doesn't look like they've really ever done a block of games that are not directly connected to one of the generations of games, at least not for a very long time, right? Then, to me, that means that we are almost certainly going to get Pokemon Gen 10 late next year at the absolute latest. And again, maybe this was no news for you guys. Maybe this is a big nothing burger for you. But I do think that this is kind of setting us up because we are breaking a pattern that is seen here by Pokemon. They are having to do a new block that is not connected to a generation for the first time in at least 4 generations of Pokemon games, which goes back, almost 15 years at this point. And not just that, but it kind of makes me wonder, how long is this block going to be, right? Because it's going to obviously be based around Megas coming back out with Legends ZA. And does that mean for sure that 2026? I think it does almost 100% at this point. I think it's going to potentially even be announced in July. I'm not kidding. This makes me feel like they're going to really hype it up. Like we got, I believe it was... Did we get Scarlet and Violet, I think, almost a full year ahead of time? And so I think that there's a very good chance that this could be the case. They'll hype everything up for it, get us ready for Gen 10, and that'll release sometime. I would say the earliest would be, May or June of next year, and then I think the latest, November. I don't know if they're going to want to run up against, GTA 6, but they may not care. The Pokemon Company might be one of the few companies that don't care about releasing something, at the same time as GTA 6. But either way, this mega set, this mega block is going to be the last ones that we're going to get before Generation 10. I really wonder how many sets we're going to get. Right now, it looks like we may get 4, 5 at the most of Mega Pokemon, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world, but it's going to be interesting and really worth watching for, especially as we get closer to that Pokemon Presents in July. So let me know what you guys think. Like I said in the comment section below, maybe this is a big nothing burger. Maybe I'm just, fully speculating, but it really feels like this is a big deal that we are getting a new set of Pokemon cards that are not connected to a gen. And it really does scream like, for sure, we're getting Gen 10 next year. But again, maybe I'm completely off. Let me know. But that is going to wrap it up for us on this Pokemon video. So from our house to yours, thanks for watching.